Turkey is rich in history and culture, as well as some of the most magnificent scenery on the planet. Until recently, Turkey was one of the world's most popular tourist destinations. Turkey has the world's highest GDP and ranks 11th when adjusted for purchasing power parity. Unfortunately, the country is experiencing high levels of inflation. It is avoidable, but the administration is hesitant to take the necessary actions. Let's have a look at the facts and reasons why Turkey is not fixing its hyperinflation problem. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. What went wrong with Turkey's economy? Turkey was already attempting to avert a financial disaster before the outbreak. The problem has worsened as President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has stepped up his unconventional initiatives. There are symptoms of Turkey's catastrophic economy everywhere. Long lineups form in front of reduced bread vendors. Medicine, milk, and toilet paper are all becoming increasingly expensive. Some petrol stations have closed due to lack of supplies. On the streets, angry outbursts have occurred. Even before the coronavirus pandemic and supply chain bottlenecks began wreaking havoc on the world's economies over 2 years ago, Turkey was battling enormous debt, significant losses in the value of Turkish lira, and soaring inflation. However, in recent weeks, that slow-moving train catastrophe has accelerated with savage force. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the country's assertive president, has his foot firmly planted on the accelerator. What is the significance of this now? Turkey's economic troubles have historical roots, but the most recent crisis was precipitated by Mr. Erdogan's insistence on decreasing interest rates in the face of skyrocketing inflation, the exact opposite strategy that experts nearly uniformly advocate. Mr. Erdogan has long resisted that particularly unpleasant prescription, but his determination to keep slashing interest rates even as inflation rises looks to be pushing Turkey over the edge. Typically, investors and others look to a country's central bank to control inflation and set interest rates. Mr. Erdogan, on the other hand, has consistently demonstrated that if Turkey's central bankers and finance ministers refuse to do what he wants, he would remove them, having already fired 3 in the last 2 years. The sharp decrease in the currency means that import prices continue to rise. People are struggling to purchase food and fuel because of scarcity. The young unemployment rate is 25%. The president's popularity is declining, and his rivals are becoming more assertive. Mr. Erdogan appears to be sure that his policy will allow the Turkish economy to recover from its challenges. However, most economists believe a crash is more plausible. When did Turkey's economic difficulties begin? Mr. Erdogan's forceful pro-growth measures have previously worked for him. Since taking office in 2003, he has started on costly infrastructure projects, courted foreign investors, and encouraged businesses and consumers to incur debt. Growth accelerated during Mr. Erdogan's first decade in power. Turkey was regarded as an economic marvel. Mr. Erdogan's incessant push to expand, though, became untenable. The giddy borrowing, on the other hand, continued. The increasingly volatile economy was in a bind. High interest rates enticed international investors to accept the risk and continue financing, but also stifled growth. Mr. Erdogan was unable to accept that trade-off, and he continued to encourage cheap borrowing even as inflation rose and the value of currency fell. He argues that high interest rates generate inflation, even though low interest rates increase money in circulation, encourage individuals to borrow and spend more, and tend to raise prices. The economy swung back and forth between these competing ambitions until 2018, when rising political tensions between Turkey and the United States caused the lira's value to plummet. Mr. Erdogan persisted in pressuring state banks to make low-interest loans to households and businesses, and the borrowing frenzy persisted. Turkish banks began selling off their dollar holdings to prop up the currency. Those monetary reserves are rapidly declining. The worldwide economic downturn induced by the coronavirus outbreak has exacerbated the tensions by reducing global sales of Turkish goods. Tourism, which was one of Turkey's most active industries, has also taken damage. How does President Erdogan view interest rates? Mr. Erdogan claims that by keeping interest rates low, consumers will be more ready to shop and businesses will be more inclined to borrow, invest in the economy, and hire workers. If the currency falls in value versus the dollar, he believes that Turkey's products will simply become cheaper and overseas buyers would want to buy even more. The lira has lost more than 45% of its value in the last year, and the official inflation rate has surpassed 20%, although many analysts believe the rate on the streets is far higher. In Turkey, soaring costs are impoverishing the middle class and causing misery among the poor. Erdogan's approach to the escalating situation. The president has reinforced his stance, stating that he will never compromise on his opposition to increased interest rates. Interest rates, he claims, make the rich richer and the poor poorer. The president has invoked Islamic laws against usury, referring to loan interest rates as the mother and father of all evil, and blaming rising prices on foreign intervention. According to analytics, such remarks are mostly intended to appeal to the country's more conservative, religious elements, which comprise the majority of Mr. Erdogan's support. According to Mr. Barki of the Council on Foreign Relations, Turkey's underlying problem is that it has an unduly confident ruler who has been in power for a long period. He believes in his omnipotence and is making blunders, but he's so surrounded by yes-men that no one dares to challenge him. So guys, that was it for this video. What did you think about our video? Let us know in the comments section below. If you are new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell to get notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching.